The Galactic Council was not a place for the faint of heart. Its sprawling chambers, built from the remnants of dead stars and suspended in the blackest depths of space, were where the fates of countless civilizations were debated and where power was exchanged like currency. The air hummed with the soft whispers of alien languages, and the faint glow of holographic projections illuminated the faces of beings from hundreds of different worlds. Yet there was always one thing that remained the same in every cycle of meetings. Earth's seat was empty. At first it seemed like a trivial matter, perhaps a quirk of tradition or a forgotten relic of the past. But for Captain Alara Tren, the absence of Earth's seat was something much more insidious. Her assignment was simple, or so she thought: investigate why the seat of Earth had remained unoccupied for centuries. As a seasoned diplomat and representative of the Vortari clan, she had participated in many galactic negotiations, but this was different. This was a mystery buried in the deepest annals of galactic history, and Alara had learned long ago that where there was mystery, there was usually danger. Alara had been briefed in the sterile halls of the Council's diplomatic division, her mind swirling with the implications of her mission. She was given access to Council archives, cryptic reports, and numerous ancient accounts that all pointed to one thing: Earth's absence from the Council was not by choice, but by design. "Do you know why Earth's seat has remained empty all this time, Captain?" Her superior, Commander Vren, asked in his deep, gravelly voice. "I do not," Alara replied, her tone steady, though she had already begun to suspect there was more to this than a simple matter of logistics. "But I intend to find out." Vren's gaze sharpened. "You will, but be careful. Some things are best left untouched." With that, she was given her orders. Travel to Odyx, a world known for its vast archive vaults, and uncover the origins of Earth's exclusion. The planet was a cold, barren place, its surface covered in glaciers and ice plains. It was home to an ancient species, the Iren, who had safeguarded the galaxy's most sensitive knowledge for eons. They were secretive and reclusive, but their archives were said to contain everything, including information lost to time itself. Alara's journey to Odyx took several days, during which her mind wandered back to the many unanswered questions swirling around Earth's disappearance from galactic history. If Earth had been excluded from the Council, why was it? And who had made that decision? Most importantly, why was this mystery so fiercely guarded? It was as if something far more sinister had been at play. Upon landing on Odyx, Alara was greeted by a single figure standing on the edge of the icy plains, watching the incoming ship. Aaron, the archivist, stood wrapped in a cloak of shimmering light that seemed to shift and flicker with the movements of the stars. "You've come to seek the truth, Captain," Aaron said, his voice soft but carrying an unmistakable weight. "But be warned, the truth is not something everyone can bear." Alara studied him closely. Aaron was ancient, older than most civilizations in the galaxy, and his race had been responsible for storing countless records, both public and forbidden. There was a glint in his eyes that suggested he knew far more than he let on. She wasn't sure whether to trust him, but there was no turning back now. "They come for the truth, Aaron," Alara said firmly. "Nothing more, nothing less." With a silent nod, Aaron led her into the depths of an underground temple built into the glaciers, its walls adorned with holographic runes and intricate designs that seemed to shift as she walked past them. The air grew colder as they descended into the labyrinthine corridors, each step echoing through the empty halls. "These archives hold records older than most of the galaxy's known civilizations," Aaron explained as they walked deeper into the temple. "Not everything is meant to be discovered. Some knowledge, however valuable, is far too dangerous." Alara's pulse quickened. And what makes Earth so dangerous? Aaron paused, his gaze lingering on her. That is a question you must answer for yourself. They arrived at the central archive chamber, a massive hall filled with towering crystalline screens that hummed with energy. Alara could feel the weight of history pressing down on her as she approached the central terminal. The Aaron placed his hand on the surface of a glowing control panel, and the room came to life with projections of ancient records. These are the earliest galactic archives, Aaron said, his voice reverberating in the chamber. Here you will find the answer to your question. Alara began to scroll through the records, each one filled with cryptic messages and long-forgotten accounts of the galaxy's early days. Most of the records were incomprehensible, written in alien languages that had long since died out, but as she dug deeper, one particular record caught her eye. The message was an old communication transmitted during the first assembly of the Galactic Council. It was marked with a warning. Earth was never meant to be a part of the Council. The decision to exclude it was not one made lightly. Earth's inhabitants possess abilities that could unravel the very fabric of the universe. Should Earth ever remember its true potential, the galaxy itself could be in danger. Alara felt a chill run down her spine. What did this mean? What was so special about Earth that it could pose a threat to the entire galaxy? She read the message again, this time more slowly, trying to decipher the hidden meaning behind those words. The rest of the message was fragmented, but a few key phrases stood out. The Eldraxi, Alara whispered aloud, unfamiliar with the name. Who were they? Aaron turned to face her, his expression grave. The Eldraxi were an ancient species known for their control over time itself. They were the first to recognize Earth's potential, and they believed that the inhabitants of Earth, humanity, possessed the ability to manipulate time and space. This potential, however, was not a gift, it was a curse. The Eldraxi foresaw a future where humanity's power could shatter the galaxy's fragile balance. Alara's thoughts raced. Time manipulation? A species with the power to alter the very fabric of reality? But the Eldraxi took action. Eri continued. They erased Earth from the galactic consciousness, not just from history but from memory itself. The planet was locked away, hidden in a temporal rift that no one could access. It was as if Earth had never existed. Alara stood motionless, her mind reeling from the revelations. If the Eldraxi had erased Earth from time, then why had the Council kept it a secret for so long? What was the true reason for the exclusion? Why didn't the Eldraxi just destroy Earth outright? Alara asked, struggling to process the magnitude of what she was learning. The Eldraxi feared that Earth's inhabitants, when united, could disrupt the fabric of reality. But they also feared something else, that humanity would one day reclaim its memory and its power. Earth was hidden away to prevent that from happening. Alara's breath caught in her throat. If Earth's power was as dangerous as the Eldraxi had warned, then the galaxy might be facing an even greater threat than anyone could imagine. Suddenly, the holographic screens flickered, and a new message appeared. It was a warning. Earth's slumber is ending. The memory has begun to return. The galaxy will not be prepared for what follows. Alara felt a deep sense of dread settle over her. She had been right. Earth's absence had never been about tradition. It had been a decision made to protect the galaxy from something far darker. Captain, Aaron said, a voice low, you must leave. The galaxy is not ready for what Earth will bring. But it was already too late. The first signs of Earth's awakening were already rippling through the fabric of space and time. The truth was out, and soon the galaxy would face the consequences. Captain Alara Tren stood frozen in the cold, silent hall of the Eren archive. her mind racing to comprehend what she had just uncovered. The message that had flashed before her, the warning about Earth's potential to unravel the fabric of the universe, lingered like a shadow in her thoughts. It wasn't just that Earth had been excluded from the Galactic Council for some trivial reason. It was that Earth itself had the power to destroy everything. Her breath caught in her throat as Aaron's words echoed in her mind. The Eldraxi foresaw a future where humanity's power could shatter the galaxy's fragile balance. But the galaxy hadn't been prepared for this moment. The slumber of Earth, once hidden in the fabric of time itself, was starting to wake. Lara turned toward the central terminal, her fingers trembling as she hesitated for a moment. The archive was alive with holographic projections of countless records, each one floating like a fragment of ancient knowledge. The truth was now closer than ever, but it was also more dangerous. "Captain," Aaron's voice broke through her thoughts, calm but filled with a sense of urgency. "You must understand, there are things here that no one should know. Some knowledge is meant to stay buried. The Eldraxi knew this, and they sealed Earth away for a reason." "But what happened to the Eldraxi?" Alara asked, her voice more forceful than she intended. "Why did they leave? Why did they abandon Earth's fate to the Council? They were the first to recognize humanity's potential. What happened to them?" Aaron's expression darkened. The Eldraxi disappeared long before the formation of the Galactic Council. They left behind their records, their warnings, and their power, but they did not leave Earth's fate to the Council. They were just the first to see what Earth could become. They did not know how to stop it, so they erased it from time. Alara absorbed his words, the weight of them settling heavily in her chest. It was clear now that Earth wasn't just excluded from the Council because of political reasons. There was something more, something that transcended politics and diplomacy. Earth's exclusion was a safeguard, a shield to protect the galaxy from a force so powerful that it could shatter the very nature of reality. "We need to know more," Alara said. "I need to understand why Earth's potential is so dangerous. I need to know everything." Aaron nodded, though his face was etched with worry. "You are right to seek the truth, but know this, Captain. The truth may cost you more than you are prepared to pay." The air grew thick with an oppressive silence as Alara's fingers danced across the glowing control panel, the data streams flooding her vision. Each record she accessed seemed to unravel a new mystery, but there was one record that caught her attention above all the others. It was titled The Forbidden Timeline. Ara focused on the timeline, its words slowly materializing in front of her. The information appeared as fragmented images, memories, and cryptic messages so old and ancient that even the holographic projections flickered as they came to life. The timeline began with the first known contact between the Eldraxi and Earth. The year was marked in an ancient calendar, long lost to most civilizations, and the event itself was more of an enigma than a clear-cut history. Earth's inhabitants, humanity, had unwittingly activated a gateway, one that connected them to the Eldraxi. The timeline chronicled how the Eldraxi had observed humanity from the farthest reaches of space, watching as Earth's technology and understanding of science began to advance beyond its own world's limitations. Humanity was a species on the verge of greatness or destruction. The Eldraxi had believed that humanity was on the cusp of awakening a dormant power deep within its genes. They called it the Tempest Rift, an untapped potential in the human genome that could tear apart the very structure of time and space. When the Eldraxi realized that Earth was positioned in a way that allowed it to channel temporal energy from the very core of the galaxy, they panicked. They did not have the power to stop it outright. Instead, they chose to erase Earth's existence from the fabric of time. They did not simply shut off Earth from the galaxy's memory. They erased its very timeline, weaving it into a place where it would remain unseen. Earth's people were left unaware, bound to their oblivion, but the Eldraxi knew the truth, that one day Earth would return. "Why," Alara whispered to herself, "why didn't they destroy Earth? Why just Lock it away. The Eldraxi were afraid. Aren's voice answered, soft and haunting. They were not simply trying to protect the galaxy from Earth's power. They feared that Earth would one day reclaim its lost memory and restore its potential. They believed that the power buried deep within the human race could destabilize the entire universe, and so they made the decision to erase it. Lock it away from all other life forms. Alaratrin had heard whispers of dark legends during her time as a diplomat for the Vortari clan, tales of ancient powers that could bend the universe to their will, of forces that slumbered in forgotten corners of space. But nothing had prepared her for the realization that Earth, the very planet whose seat was conspicuously absent in the Galactic Council chamber, was the catalyst for that darkness. The weight of Aron's warning hung heavy in the cold, sterile air of the Aryan archive. He had revealed the unthinkable, that Earth had been erased from time by the Eldraxi, a race so powerful they had controlled the very flow of reality itself. For eons, humanity had been locked away in a temporal rift, forgotten by the galaxy, isolated from the greater cosmos, until now. The truth was out there, buried beneath centuries of secrecy, but now it had begun to resurface. Alara felt it, deep within her, an inexplicable pull, a shift in the fabric of space and time, as though a cosmic lock was slowly turning. Earth's slumber is ending. Those words still echoed in her mind. She had read them in the records, in the messages sent by the Eldraxi. Earth was awakening, and when it did, the universe would change. Alara couldn't shake the growing sense of urgency, the knowledge that she was now at the center of something far bigger than herself. Aron's somber tone still echoed in her ears. The time is coming, you cannot stop it, the galaxy is unprepared. But she refused to accept that. If Earth was to return, the galaxy had to be ready. There was no more room for ignorance or complacency. But first she needed to find Earth. She had to see it with her own eyes and understand what had been kept hidden for so long. Back on her ship, the Vortan, Alara began to gather the data she had accumulated from Odix. She needed answers, more than the cryptic warnings and fragmented records Aron had shared with her. She needed to know exactly what Earth had become, what kind of power it possessed that had terrified the Eldraxi, and why the galaxy had been so willing to erase a planet from existence. "Captain," her first officer Loranvar called out, snapping her from her thoughts. "We've intercepted something strange, a ripple in the temporal field. It's coming from somewhere near Earth's last known location." Alara stiffened. The coordinates Loran provided matched those of Earth's last recorded position, before it vanished from the galaxy's collective memory. A temporal anomaly, an invisible tear in the fabric of time, was emerging right where Earth was supposed to be. "We're going," Alara ordered, her voice firm. She could feel the urgency coursing through her veins. The galaxy was on the brink and she had no time to waste. "Prepare the ship for immediate departure." As the crew of the Vortan scrambled to carry out her orders, Alara's mind raced. The Eldraxi had predicted this. Earth's return was inevitable, but how would it manifest? Was it just a place, just a planet, or something more? The awakening of a species that had been erased from the universe's memory could have unimaginable consequences. The journey to Earth's last known coordinates was fraught with tension. As the Vortan sliced through the stars, the crew worked tirelessly to stabilize the ship's temporal engines, ensuring that they would be able to navigate the anomalies in the fabric of space-time. The closer they got to the anomaly, the more the ship seemed to hum with strange energy. "Captain," Loran called out, "we're approaching the rift. The space-time fluctuations are getting stronger." Alara stood at the helm, staring out into the vast expanse of space. Her eyes narrowed as she tried to make sense of the phenomenon. The rift that had hidden Earth for centuries was now starting to open, its edges crackling with a dangerous, unfamiliar energy. "Steady," she instructed. "Engage the quantum stabilizers. We need to get through without disrupting the field." The ship trembled as it approached the rift. For a moment, everything seemed to warp and stretch, as if the very laws of physics were unraveling. Alara's stomach lurched as time itself seemed to buckle and twist. A deep primal feeling of dread washed over her, and she knew that this was no ordinary rift. This was the edge of a universe that had been altered, a tear in the fabric of existence itself. With a final shuddering lurch, the Vortan broke through the rift, and before them lay a sight that defied comprehension. Earth. But not as it once was. The planet was surrounded by a shimmering, translucent aura, a shimmering veil that distorted reality around it. The familiar blue and green of Earth's surface was gone. In its place was a ghostly, fragmented image of the planet, as though it were trapped in multiple states of existence at once. The sky was both clear and stormy. The oceans were both still and in violent motion. It was as if the planet was caught between moments in time, suspended in an eternal state of flux.